the day before we leave, we went to this bar and left our credit card. Now we can't find it. That's the credit card that has our Marriott points and all that stuff on it. We leave tomorrow on the ship at 1 p.m. and we don't have our credit card. We don't have that credit card. We have other ones for backup. We're okay. But we really want that credit card. And I have to cancel it now. But we're gonna work it out, no big deal. We called this morning. We started calling last night, nobody would answer. And then when they would answer, they didn't speak English, so we had to wait and come down here this morning when they opened. I've been searching the street, like maybe he dropped it or something. I think we just left it on the table. But the shenanigans are in full force. They were very nice. They went through about 15 different credit cards that people had left, and obviously none of them were ours. There have been no charges on it, so we're good on that. There was a breast cancer walk right outside of our hotel this morning. The whole streets were all blocked off. We're looking for some spicy food. No ratings, we don't want to go there.
Hello, it's Abroad. We think episode 9, but we may have to adjust that down the road a little bit. So anyway, it's Sunday night. Tomorrow we get on the cruise ship for Barcelona, and our life changes forever for real. Everything's moving from theory into practice, and that's actually a good topic for the last couple of days. We've had a really interesting couple of days. On our last video, we were talking about public transportation and how we had never used it, and so we familiarized ourselves with the subway system here in New York, at least, as a little bit of a prepper. New Jersey and New York, as a little bit of a prepper for what we're facing when we get overseas. So Saturday, we decided to try the bus system, which again, I think I was 6 years old the last time I rode a public bus. And what did you say you were?
I think I was in 8th grade with Jackie Westerman, and we took dolls with us to the mall or something. I don't know, but that was the last time I was ever on a city bus. It was 8th grade.
And I'm pretty sure the last time I was going with my mom to King's Table to eat Saturday buffet. So that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So anyway, we thought, okay, let's take the public bus system. So we had started out the morning. I had a bag of change that I had brought with me from Evansville, and I was trying to figure out how to convert that into some cash. So I looked up the the closest Coinstar kiosk to the hotel where we're staying at, and I think it was like 1.1 mile. And I was like, well, why don't we just walk? Because we're going to be walking all over the place as we get to Europe and beyond, so let's just go ahead and walk it, not Uber. We've found how expensive Uber can be in this city. So we take off on our walk, and of course we have no idea the direction that we're going, what the neighborhood might be like or might not be like. And we get there, and it was just a super interesting experience. And I want to preface this. Nothing that we're going to say is revolutionary or even things that we weren't already aware of. But whenever you experience them in real life versus just thinking about them, and
or just knowing it,
or hearing other people talk about it, it is just
you can know a lot of things and never experience it and give advice all day long. But until your feet walk in the steps, you don't know.
Right. So it was a really interesting situation that we found ourselves in. So the kiosk at that we went to was located in a grocery store. And as soon as we are walking through the parking lot, we start gathering looks left and right, which is not entirely unusual based on the way that we choose to dress a lot. But
that was very normal.
Right.
Daryl had on his rock vest.
Well, that's true. But we were getting looks.
And his fedora.
We were definitely getting looks more for the color of our skin than what it was we were wearing.
Maybe.
And so when we walk into the grocery, literally, we're the only white people in there. And people were, I think at first they were not shocked, but it was unusual to see us. But everybody, or I won't say everybody, but a lot of people went out of their way to greet us and ask if we needed help with anything, pointed us to the coin machine with really in-depth.
Just like they would at any other grocery
Yes,
store that
right.
we go to.
And not that we didn't expect that, but again, whenever you start to find yourself, like we're getting ready to do, all the places that we're going to go, we're going to be out of the ordinary.
That was the first experience of the only
The minority,
yes,
by far.
yes. And it wasn't comfortable at all.
No. So then we walked over to McDonald's because I had to get my sausage biscuit with cheese one last day. And as we were sitting there, we made the decision, all right, let's try to figure out the bus system. So we got online. We had to download an app. We had to figure out how many, what do they call them, zones, how many zones that the bus was going to go through.
Per zone.
Then we had to purchase the card online, and then the card expires in 30 minutes. So once we purchased them, then we had to find the bus stop, which we knew wasn't too far away, but we had to get there. So we go down to the bus stop, what we think is the bus stop.
Right.
We're waiting for the bus. We're not in any hurry because we got there in plenty of time. And actually the first couple of buses, we're like, let's just let these go by. We'll get on another bus. So we finally.
Pretty cool. One was standing only.
Yeah, that's true. That's why we skipped that one.
Well, we skipped it because it wasn't the time, because we thought we needed to get on the time that we had purchased. But we had until that amount of time.
Right. Okay. So anyway, we finally decided to get on the bus that we get on. We're getting out of the frame. Oh. We get on the bus that we decided was the right one for us. And we're on the bus for probably 2 stops. And I didn't see on the bus any indication of where the stop was. Whenever they made the first stop, they didn't come on and say, okay, we're at Jackson Street. And there was nothing in the bus that indicated that would have been the Jackson Street stop. So I went up to the driver and I said, excuse me, this is the first time I've been on the bus. How will I know when you're getting to Wilson Avenue? And she looked at me and she said, I won't be getting to Wilson Avenue. And I said, well, isn't this the 25 bus? And she said, yeah, but it's going the opposite way. You need the 25 bus that goes the other way. I was like, oh, well, how would I have known that? And she said, either you just know it or you ask the driver.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. So she pointed out which stop we should go to catch the bus that would be coming to take us the other way. So we do that. We catch the bus going the other way. And as soon as we get on the bus, I noticed, obviously, it was standing room only as well. We were the only white people on the bus. Every other person was black or brown except for us. And so when we start making our way towards where we're going, which was a sports bar called Blitz Sports Bar, we recognize that we actually are going to Puerto Rico Town.
It wasn't Puerto Rico Town.
It was.
Okay.
The sign said Puerto Rico Town.
Okay, I did not see the sign. It said Puerto Rico Town.
Oh, well, I pointed it out to you.
Okay.
So,
and it was Little Portugal, but I didn't.
I'm sorry, Portugal. Yes, Portugal. Portugal, not Puerto Rico.
It was Little Portugal.
Yes, another P word.
It wasn't Puerto Rico Town.
Another P word. Portugal. Little Portugal. So, as we're going into the neighborhood, it completely changes in just the vibe and the culture and everything about it.
It was so cool. It was like Chinatown except Portugal. And then it was Brazil. There was Colombian.
Yeah. So they were all either Latin America, Central America, or some sort of Spanish
but
heritage.
As it went down the street, it wasn't like it was all mixed up.
Right. Yeah, they were in segments.
A block of that.
So it was a really neat experience just to see the immediate switch from one block to the next. Again, we've been to Chinatown in San Francisco and in New York and in Chicago. We've been to Little Italy. So we're not unfamiliar, but it was a little bit different.
I've never seen Little Portugal before.
Right.
I've seen, Chinatown.
Right.
Yeah, that was neat.
But it definitely had a little bit of a different vibe. And so we got to the sports bar and walk in, again, the only white people. And we were there for, I don't know, probably about 20 minutes. And you could tell it was the owner of the bar was sitting at the end of the bar. And after, I think, our second drink order, he just said, you all aren't locals, are you? And we laughed and said, no, we're not. we're actually just here for another couple of days, and we're getting ready to head to get on a cruise for Barcelona, and told him a little bit about our adventure. And so then he gave us all of these pointers about in Spain.
Oh, I had a map out. I was looking at the Portugal or our Spain book.
Yeah, and he really wanted us to spend a lot of time up north in the Basque country, and gave a lot of pointers and suggestions about that. And then, chatted us up for a little while. He pointed out, and I don't know, about an hour later when we started talking about food, that we overheard them talking about a place that made Brazilian barbecue on Wednesdays and Saturdays only.
Oh, yeah.
And so he was talking about Danny making this barbecue at 4 o'clock. And he was talking about going to get some himself. And so that perked my ears up. And I asked for some more information. And they told us how to get there. And they said they start serving at 4. And it's only on Saturday and Wednesday that you can get it. So you should definitely go. So we went and got it. And it was fantastic. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was really
grilled
good.
pineapple, grilled skirt steak, grilled onions, and was there jalapeno? I don't think there were
I
jalapenos.
don't remember.
But it was amazing and very delicious. But we did notice that no one that worked there spoke English. And so it wasn't difficult to figure out what we wanted. The menu was very clear on what the items were, and we could just point. But they didn't speak any English at all. So we have a great meal, had a few drinks, and had decided that it was time to go get dessert, which was about 1.5 miles the other way. So we pay for our meal, and we start walking to the dessert section, or the dessert restaurant, where we're going to get our 4 cupcakes. And what else did we get? Strawberry shortcake and red velvet cake.
Oh my God, it was a huge piece of red velvet cake. It was really big. It was like the piece that Jack got from my dad. That was coconut. It was huge.
Right.
And we still have the 4 cupcakes. we're going to have those tonight. Or at least I'm going to have one.
Right. So we get to the dessert place. I go to pull out my credit card. I don't have it. I had left it at the restaurant. By this time, it was they were already closed. So this morning, first thing, whenever I wake up, I call. Nobody's there. They open at noon. When I call finally at noon and somebody answers, they don't speak any English. And she said, "Un momento," and hands the phone to someone else who also didn't speak English.
Spanish. Obviously, we need to work on that a
Yes.
lot.
And the guy didn't speak any English either. And I was explaining that we left our credit card there, and could they look it up? And he just hung up on me twice. So I was like,
I guess I could know.
well, all right, what are we going to do? So we take an Uber. We go to the restaurant. Luckily, someone that was sitting at the bar spoke English and Spanish, and explained to us that nobody that works there spoke any English. And he was helping us. They didn't have the card. We don't have any idea where the card is.
It's gone.
It's gone. So another lesson, don't lose your freaking best credit card the day before you're leaving the country.
Yeah.
That might pose a little bit of a situation.
But Daryl got it all smoothed out.
We'll get it figured out. It won't be bad. So anyway, as we get ready to jump off into this new world, it just was interesting. Oh, and so then the capper today, because we've gone back to the restaurant to look for the credit card, and I said, well, why don't we just walk back towards the hotel area, and let's just stop for lunch and a beer at a couple of places on our way back, just to get a feel for what it was like. So we went to a local place and got empanadas, which were the best.
Oh, they were so good. Oh my gosh, it was so good. I don't even know what mine was called, but it had cream cheese and corn, and I can't even tell you.
Yeah, it was more veggie, and mine had
it was not meat.
ground beef, green onions, and green olives, and cheese, and it was incredible. And then I got the ground beef crepe as well. That was also
Oh, it was
amazing.
very good.
So then after we ate lunch, we were doing some research about our time in Spain and how we were going to navigate some areas. We walked down to a bar about 1/2 mile away, and I was like, why don't we just stop here and have a beer here? So they was like, it was
booming.
blasting, and it was 2:30 on Sunday afternoon. So Penny was like, yeah, let's go in here. So immediately we opened the door, There's a mask, like he's not wearing an N95 mask. He's wearing some sort of...
It's like a ski mask, like for military.
Right,
or
like a
something.
military mask. A security
All in
guy
black.
from head to toe in
Big.
black, and says security. And he
I
had to...
walked in, no problem.
Right. He had to pat me down, and I mean, it was more than a TSA pat
He
down.
patted down much more than TSA.
If I was hiding
he was
anything,
trying to see what you had in there.
he would have found it for sure.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, good to go. So we walk in, and I mean, all eyes are on us. Again, the only white people, the only English-speaking people in the place.
No one in the entire building spoke English.
Right.
We're in New Jersey. I just thought that was really odd. Well, that's not true because the lady that helped us,
yes.
she was bilingual.
Yes. So the downstairs was pretty full. So we went upstairs, and the music, I swear I've never been in a bar with music
It was
this
as loud
loud.
as a concert. It was crazy.
And people were just sitting around tables, having beers, watching soccer game, talking.
They had a full wall screen and playing Brazil and Seville.
Yeah, Barcelona and Seville.
Barcelona, yeah.
Yeah, Barcelona and Seville. And so anyway, we order our beers, and I had to pull up the Google Translate to whenever at the end of the day, or at the end of the time, we wanted to pay for everything because we had two different waitresses. So anyway,
Oh, that was so confusing.
it was very confusing. But while I was sitting there, I really recognized for probably the first time in a real life situation that people might not be just curious about us being there. They might actually be offended. There was certainly a guy looking at me that he looked like he wished I wasn't there. Perfectly fine if that's the case.
I didn't see that.
But
I believe it, but I
yeah,
didn't
it was
see
the guy sitting
Yeah.
right catty corner across from me, and he eyeballed me the whole time. And
He didn't trust you.
we talked about, again, we're going to be going into situations where we're really going to target areas that aren't tourist friendly areas, that aren't big tourist areas where people are going, and so people may be used to seeing
Not
tourists.
dangerous areas.
No, not
Just
dangerous.
smaller villages outside of the bigger cities is where
Right.
we're going to be staying.
Where places where people usually don't go for a
Right.
vacation.
Yes.
So
yes.
anyway, it's
Where
been
they don't speak English. maybe.
right. It's been an interesting 2 days. We'll give more details as we board the ship tomorrow and let you know how the 14-day cruise is going, and then the real adventure begins on November 4th.
We spent about an hour in Lincoln Park.
Oh yeah, we capped off the night at Lincoln
Yeah.
Park.
Yeah, we sat out there and the sun went down while we were in Lincoln Park. That was fun. It's really nice. The weather's perfect.
Yeah, it's gorgeous
It's
here.
been so great.
79 today.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Peace out.
See ya.
Peace.
Okay, we're in our room. We're all packed away. Already have a drink. Here's the closet. We're unpacked. Look at all that. I had all that in my backpack.
Yeah, the suitcases are still full.
Yeah, the suitcases we haven't even opened yet. All of that's from my backpack. Pretty awesome packing right there, all from my backpack. Here's the bathroom. Very European, which this is Norwegian, so small. Look. No, we haven't left yet. We have a balcony to walk out. This will be incredible at night. Now this is New York. Okay. This is where we are. Fixing to leave. Bon voyage.
this file. There's one too. This is ketchup and mustard, but that's the better sides on that side.
Ketchup and mustard. Ooh, that's a big one. They like the Pooh Bear ones.